actually taken action to restore trust in the community under the leadership of Governor Cuomo. This is what real leadership is, and the commitment to justice looks like. That is why I am proud to, on behalf of the West Indian American Day Carnival Association, present Governor Andrew Cuomo our Champion of Justice Award. Thank you for your leadership, Governor. And it's my privilege to do this task on behalf of the West Indian American Day Carnival Association. And we're joined by President Mr. Bailey and the daughter of the icon of the carnival, Carlos Lezama. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. It's my pleasure and my honor to be here today at this parade. And I'm going to ask you just for a couple of minutes of silence because today is a fun day and it's a day to celebrate, but it's also an important day. First, I want to thank Perry for his leadership in Albany and what he's doing. Let's give him a big round of applause. We have a whole host of elected officials who are here today who are really doing extraordinary work. Every time I start mentioning them, I'm going to get into trouble, but what the heck. First, to Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, let's give him a round of applause for his great work. We have Frank Sadio, who's a great chairman for the Democratic Party in Brooklyn. It's a pleasure to be with him. We have Scott Springer, who's the controller for the city, who's doing a great, great job. He's going to be coming to Puerto Rico with us today to help out Puerto Rico. So let's give him a round of applause. Our president from the Bronx took a long ride, Ruben Diaz, he's here. And he's also coming to Puerto Rico to do good work with us. Tom Bailey, who's done so much work for so long to make this parade work. Let's give him a round of applause. We were just joined by the Speaker of the New York State Assembly, a Bronx boy, but his heart is in Brooklyn today, Carl Hastie. Let's give him a round of applause. And we have Rodney Spachero, and we have Mikhail Solange, and Roxy Persaud, and David Wepper. Let's give them all a round of applause. Let me make a couple of points if we can. We celebrate the West Indian Day culture today. And we do it gladly. We celebrate the culture and the food and the music and the costumes, and we celebrate everything that the West Indian community has brought to this city and state that makes it a better city and state. We are the #1 home to West Indians outside of the Caribbean West Indian area itself, and we're proud of that. By the way, we're also the #1 home to Puerto Ricans outside of Puerto Rico. We're the #1 home to Dominicans out of the Dominican Republic. We are the city and the state of immigrants, and we are proud of it. And what we say is, not only do we welcome you, but we agree to work with you, because we want you to join the family of New York, and we believe in you, and we're going to invest in you, and we're going to get you an education so you can do the best you can. And we're going to raise the minimum wage again in New York, because you can't live in New York on $7 an hour, or $8 an hour, or $9 an hour. We also, and I am especially appreciative of this award, Champion of Justice, because one of the other things we promise people who join the family of New York is fairness and justice. And there has been too much crime where police are involved with unarmed people, too many questions, too many lives lost, a loss of faith, a loss of trust, we appointed the first special prosecutor in the United States of America, the Attorney General, to take those cases and to take their fairness. And safety and justice is a two-way street. As citizens, we all have an obligation to do what we must do. Last night, it looks like we lost the life of a beautiful, beautiful individual. A young man who worked for me, 43 years old, was a Harvard-educated lawyer and went to work for the state because he wanted to give back and make a difference. This is a young man who could have gone to any Wall Street firm and make multiples of what he was making for the state. He worked for the state, 43 years old, married, his wife was pregnant with the first child. He was with us for 5 years, and he's now struggling for his life, and I'm going to go visit him in the hospital now because a random bullet hit him in the head, and we believe he's in critical condition. That, my friends, as we celebrate today, we have to commit ourselves to justice in partnership with the police and in partnership with one another. That the crime, the violence on those streets stop because enough young people have died, enough innocent people have died, and it has to stop, and it has to stop now. My last point is this. As we celebrate today, we are really celebrating the New York tradition that says we open our arms to new immigrants. And we are not afraid of immigration. And the voices in this nation that say you should be afraid of immigration, turn them off. They are naysayers. They are speaking to our fears and not our hopes. They're speaking to the cynicism and the pessimism. We're not afraid of immigrants. It's what made us who we are. It's what made us so strong. The world. We have the Statue of Liberty in our harbor with her arms open wide, saying, come join the family of New York. And we love your history, we love your culture, and you bring it to us, and we will celebrate it. And those voices that say immigration is bad, all to keep them out. That's not America. That's not New York. That's not the spirit that built this nation. We're going to turn back those naysayers and turn back that anger, and we celebrate today inclusion. For the whole family of New York, with all our heritage and all our culture, and that beautiful West Indian influence and cuisine that I love, second only to my grandmother's cuisine when she made meatball and pasta on Sunday. God bless you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the award.
I'm here at the West Indian Day Annual Parade. Just finished a pre-parade breakfast, and I'm going to go out and enjoy Eastern Parkway. All right.
On your political career, what are you doing in the future?
Oh, I'm a state senator for Queens. I serve up in Albany.
Welcome to Brooklyn.
Thank you. Good to be here. I've been honored to work on a lot of legislation last year. I was able to help a bill that helps seniors that are having problems with their street benefits, and also help businesses that are having problems with getting benefits from the city because other city agencies have been holding up their construction projects. So those are the 2 of the 7 bills that I passed last year in Albany, and I plan to do a lot when we go back in session next year.
Thank you, my good man.
All right.
Nice talking to you.
Enjoy the holidays.
You too, man. You too.
Went very well.
Is it informative, was it?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
We're actually going to do another one on that.
Alright, go ahead. Let me do the dip thing here real quick, guys. Let me just...
Before we take your questions, I just want to
No, I won't.
amplify what I said at the breakfast a few moments ago. do everything that we can do to make sure criminals don't have guns in the city. And I commend Commissioner Bratton and Chief O'Neill and all the men and women of the NYPD, what they do every day to get guns away from criminals is extraordinary. We have a bigger problem in this country with the supply of guns. This is another example of the senselessness of national policies that allow guns to flow so freely into the wrong hands. So here in this city, we will fight every day. We will use every tool we have to deprive criminals of guns. But we need a bigger change in this nation if we're going to finally ensure that guns don't flow freely across state borders and into the wrong hands. With that, happy to take your questions.
Yesterday, the former mayor took a shot at you for the way that the homeless issue is being addressed. What's your response to that?
I think he's delusional. If you think about what Rudy Giuliani did as mayor, homelessness went up about 40% on his watch. He clearly doesn't remember the fact that he chased, as he said, he chased and chased people, but he also deprived families of benefits they needed and help they needed. Now, I was very struck by the fact that one day, in the last week, he talked about chasing and chasing and chasing people. Then Cardinal Dolan very powerfully reminded all New Yorkers that people who are homeless are human beings who need help and need their lives turned around. At that point, you noticed that Giuliani changed his rhetoric and, again, in a delusional manner, presented some wonderland over which he governed, in which he provided all sorts of wonderful nurturing services for people. It didn't happen that way. Talk to all the people who worked on behalf of the homeless in those years. So this is really a tale of two Rudys. One who says he likes to chase people away, and another who suddenly thinks he was nurturing them.
What can we expect with your plan?
Our plan is working. 15,000 people have been moved out of shelter and into housing. So the number of folks who would have continued to be homeless has been greatly reduced because we took positive measures. Rental subsidies, anti-eviction legal services. We did things that changed the dynamic. We've also stopped a lot of people from becoming homeless in the first place. And we're focused on mental health, and we're focused on substance abuse treatment. So our plan is going to change the fundamental reality. And I want to commend, again, Commissioner Bratton and Chief O'Neill. NYPD is playing an extraordinarily positive role in this situation, helping the Department of Homeless Services outreach workers and the sanitation workers to clean up these 21 encampments around the city. All those encampments will be gone this month, but at the same time ensuring that people who are homeless are steered towards the kind of services that will actually help them no longer be homeless. That is the name of the game, and that's what's working.
Mayor, related to that, on these encampments, when we talk to the people who've been cleaned out of there, they're like, well, I'm not going to go to a shelter, I'm not going to take the city's help, and they're just going to find another place they claim somewhere else in the street. What's the message to them?
Look, for what is the definition of insanity, Dave? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? For decades in this city, people were in fact chased around and ended up just in a different encampment or somewhere else on the street. We're not doing that anymore. We're getting rid of the encampments once and for all. And we're creating options for people that I think they will take. We're doing much more to provide mental health services. You saw the huge increase in the last budget. We're doing much more to provide substance abuse services. We're creating safe havens that are an environment that even shelter-resistant homeless feel more comfortable in. They're a more informal environment that give the homeless an opportunity to come in, have an opportunity to get the kind of treatment they need without being in a big shelter that some feel uncomfortable with. We're also making the shelters safer. The NYC Safe initiative we announced a few weeks back is aimed at doing a lot of things. First and foremost, identifying those who have mental health problems and violence problems and tracing them, very specifically getting them to the kind of help they need and off the streets and out of harm's way and out of a place where they might cause harm to others. But the other fact is when you look at the shelters, for decades they've been unsafe. And homeless people were not comfortable in many cases going into those shelters. We're providing beefed up security in those shelters to encourage people to come in and know they'll be safe.
Mayor, later today, Governor Cuomo, Speaker Viverito, and others are going to Puerto Rico. How important do you think their mission is, and are you offended not to have been included in this trip? Do you think it would be a more effective mission if you were going as well?
Governors and mayors do different things. They go on different trips. They give different speeches. It's perfectly well established. I wish them well on this trip, and I hope it'll be helpful. I think it's a good cause. I think the work we all have to do going forward will be in Washington, D.C., because neither the administration nor the Congress is respecting the needs of Puerto Rico at this point, and they're not acting to stabilize the situation in Puerto Rico, and we've got to do that.
On the same question with the housing issue, Section 8 eventually is just pushing people out their homes. They're basically forcing people out of their homes on a regular basis. How do you plan to address that concern with the same with the housing issue?
Look, we have a very aggressive affordable housing program, the most aggressive, the largest affordable housing program in the history of this city, 200,000 units built or preserved over 10 years. That's how we're addressing the issue. We have no illusions about the current situation in Washington or the current situation in Albany. We're not getting the help we need for affordable housing from the state or federal government. We are going to do all we can with our own resources to ensure that New Yorkers can live in their own city and in their own neighborhood. So that plan is on target. Over 20,000 units of housing were financed in the last fiscal year. That's how we're going to make a change.
Kyle Mazza from UNF News. First to you, Mayor. How did it feel coming to the West Indian Day Parade today and being a part of this event?
This event is one of the great events in the city each year. It's one that I look forward to because it is joyous and it's a positive example of all that's great about this city. And obviously I have my own personal tie to the Caribbean, which means a lot to me because of my wife and her family. But again, it's a sad day because just as we were all coming here, we learned about this good young man who's now fighting for his life. So it's definitely a bittersweet day at this point.
And to ask my second question regarding that to Commissioner Bratton, what is the NYPD doing now?
Actually doing quite a lot, as you would expect. An event that's going to bring almost 1 million people and thousands of marchers that have got a lot of experience with this event over the years, constantly seeking to improve it. And as to the criminal events that occurred during the course of the evening, that very active criminal investigations into those incidents, and that we're going to do all that we can as we progress throughout the rest of the day. Just try to ensure that everybody has a great time and really a lot day.
And we heard that the suspect was in court. Can you confirm that as well?
I'm not sure which incident you're referring to. There is no suspect under the arrest party incident involving the governor's aid.
Governor Miley said that the U.S. should help out with the migrant crisis from Syria, offered 65,000. Would you add your voice to that? Would you welcome to New York Syrian refugees to help out with that crisis?
Look, let's start by saying, first, it is the federal government's responsibility to deal with an international matter. And second, obviously, the United States should be part of the solution. But first and foremost, this is a European problem. And the European community has to own up to this problem. And so far has not done that effectively. I message once again for being an extraordinary moral voice and saying, by his own action, that this is something that Europe has to take responsibility.
Last one.
For the three parties that are in the parade every year, are you considering dismantling them? There's always violence. Would you like to ban them or get rid of them?
Look, I have a lot of faith in the NYPD, and I think with every passing year, NYPD has done a better and better job of keeping people safe in the days leading up to the parade. I think it's something we work on every single year to do better. So I think we want to respect people's rights, and we want to respect the community, but at the same time constantly make things safer.
The department leading up to the event has significant numbers of meetings with organizers, political leaders, community leaders. The department has very intimate relations with the communities in the precincts in Brooklyn South that are most directly impacted by the events of last night and today. And it's something that this community wants to have and wants to have it in a safe manner. Unfortunately, as we've seen this year, as we've seen in this past, there's some in the community, instances last night, quite comfortable gang related. It's a tradition. So there's
Commissioner Grant, a young man was stabbed last night.
He's going to give a brief.
Can you just give us your name, sir?
Chief Connery, Patrick Connery, Chief Brooklyn Detectives. I'll go into the 7-1 precinct, the shooting that the mayor and the commissioner have spoken about. About 3:40 a.m. this evening, Bedford Avenue, between Sullivan and Montgomery. A male was shot in the head one time. He remains critical at King County Hospital. It's very early on in this investigation. We do have some leads we're following up. We have recovered a firearm. Based on ballistics evidence recovered, it appears that there were two groups of people shooting back and forth at each other. At this time, we'd like to ask for the community's help. If anyone has any information with regard to this shooting, or very importantly, if anyone was videotaping the celebration, was still photographing and may have caught some of this incident, we ask them to call our TIPS hotline, 1-800-577-TIPS. Very important, we're asking for the community's help in this investigation.
Chief, do you mind if I ask, was Mr. Gabai just apparently caught in the crossfire of this?
It's very early in this investigation, but we believe right now he's an unintended target.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Wait, that was two gangs shooting at each other?
Commissioner.